Hello, this is Lesson 8 in Chapter 8, and we are going to be working on problem solving. Our first question is, Marla used flour, sugar, and brown sugar to make a treat. Use the clues below to find the amount of each ingredient she used. She used more flour than sugar, and she uses more sugar than brown sugar. So Marla used more flour than sugar. So our first empty spot here should be flour. And more sugar than brown sugar. So we need to find out the amount of each ingredient that she used. Okay. The order of the ingredients from least to greatest. The greatest fraction is 3/4, so we know that the first one is flour. Okay, our next biggest fraction would be 2/3. And the smallest fraction is 1/4. So the 2/3 would be the sugar. And the 1/4 would be the brown sugar. Okay. In order to solve that, you did need to know basically which fraction was biggest and which is smallest. Looking at the next example problem, it says Amir is making salsa using tomatoes, onions, and black beans. Use the clues below to find the amount of each ingredient he used. So the amounts are 1/2, 3/4, and 1/3. So just putting these in order, 3/4 is pretty big, and it is actually bigger than both 1/2 and 1/3, so we know that 3/4 is the biggest. And 1/3 and 1/2 have common numerators, so 1/2 is cut into less pieces, so the pieces would be bigger, so that would be our middle number, and 1/3 is our smallest number. So he is using more tomatoes than black beans and more black beans than onions. So he's using more tomatoes than black beans and more black beans than onions, so that means the biggest number has to be the tomatoes. Okay, and then he's using more black beans than onions, so onions would have to be our smallest fraction. And that leaves black beans as 1/2 cup. Okay, I'm going to do something a little unusual today. I'm actually going to go through your assignment problems and do a couple of those. It says Sophia is making a salad with tomatoes, cucumbers, and mozzarella cheese. Use the clues to find the amount of each ingredient. The amounts are 3/6, 2/5, and 3/4. Now as I look at these fractions, I can see that 3 and 6 are both divisible by 3, so that's actually not in its lowest form, and it might be easier if it was. 3 goes into 3 one time and 6 twice, so 3/6 would be the same as 1/2. So I'm going to just cross that out and put 1/2. And then we have 2/5 and 3/4. Well, I know that 3/4 is bigger than 1/2. And so now I need to decide which is bigger, 2/5 or 1/2. Well, I think that 2.5 is the same as 1/2. There's half of 5. And so 2/5 is smaller than 1/2. So my fractions would go in this order: 2/5, 1/2, and 3/4. There is less amount of tomatoes than cucumbers. There is a less amount of cheese than tomatoes. Okay, so with this, it says there's less tomatoes than cucumbers and less cheese than tomatoes. So tomatoes is going to be our 1/2 cup in the middle. I'll just put TOM. And there's a less amount of cheese than tomatoes, so our cheese would be the bottom one, which is 2/5, and 3/4 would mean that that's our cucumbers. So our cucumber. So we'd have 3/4 cup of cucumbers, 1/2 cup of tomatoes, and 2/5 cup of cheese. Okay, let's look at our second problem. Mason walked on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Use the clues to figure out how far he walked each day. He did not walk the farthest on Monday, and he walked less on Friday than Monday. So first we need to put our fractions in order. Our first, we have 1/4, that's pretty small, but 1/6 is even smaller. And 6/8 is a pretty big number. So we have 1/6 is our smallest number, 1/4 is our next biggest number, and 6/8 is our largest number. He did not walk the farthest on Monday, so we know that Monday was not this last one, and he walked less on Friday than Monday, so he actually walked less than that, less on Friday than Monday, so Monday would have to be the middle one, 1/4 of a mile, and our next one would be the day he walked less than that would be on Friday, so that's the 1/6 of a mile, and that means the day that he walked the most was on Wednesday, so that's 6/8 of a mile. We'll let you do the rest on your own and have a good day.